The Trevor Carey Show on Powertalk 96.7 and AM 1400.
Danny Tarkanian is his name, man. He's running for a Republican Congress candidate in Nevada. Danny, welcome in. What brings you up to the Fresno ways these days?
Well, we brought our 3 young daughters up to the Armenia camp out in Kings Valley or Kings Dunlap. My wife is correcting me. So okay. We brought them up there. They're there for a week. So my wife's from here in Fresno, and she's visiting family, and I'm out visiting with a bunch of supporters that have helped donate to my campaign and help me win my primary, and won a real tough, hard-nosed primary, and now we're in the general election. So I meet with some of the same people and hoping that they're going to help support me again.
So am I hearing it's the newlywed couple now? No kids around for the week, getting to run around like your youngins, huh?
Unfortunately, no, I'm not going to say that. We got the greatest little young child. He's my little boy, named him after my father, but he's too young for the camp. So he's with us. He was with his grandparents for the first 4 nights, and we're going to pick him up this evening and take him to dinner and get reacquainted with him.
All right. The son of Coach Tarkanian now, did he have you dribbling at 3? Could you dribble between your legs at 5? What was that like?
I have no idea when I started because it was before I could remember. So I was playing basketball from the time I could ever remember. And some of the great memories I had was following my father into his, it was really dark and crampy junior college gyms, and I would be in the gym shooting baskets while he was in his office. And I had to be, it was before I'd moved to Huntington Beach. It was before I was 6 years old I was doing that.
Now, the intensity of coaches, and your dad an intense coach, was that the intensity at home, or was there a whole different side to the coach at home? Or was that what you saw? Is that what we got 24/7 pretty much?
It depends where you saw him at. My father had great people skills, and when you saw him out, he was very gregarious, loved to talk to people, loved to talk sports. But he was very
people person
very
instantly.
People. Oh yeah, absolutely. He was the best at it that I've ever seen.
I've heard he could own a room when he walks in.
He loved to be around people, and they loved to hear his stories, and he loved to tell them. But the great thing, what I really enjoyed the most about my father's career was his preparation for the game itself. From the time that we'd have a pregame meal 4 hours before the game, and then you drive over to the arena. You can't say, first on the pregame meal, you can't say a word. Everything's pure silence. If you wanted somebody to pass you some water or something, you had to elbow them a point.
And what was the mindset behind that?
He wanted you to concentrate on what you're going to do in your game. He didn't want you talking. He felt his mentor in coaching was a football coach here from Fresno State. My father went to Fresno State, and Clark Van Golder was a football coach here in the mid-'50s, and my dad idolized him, and that's how Clark coached. He had his players so intense and focused, and that they never their eyes were bulging. They were so ready to play by the time they got on the field, and that's what my dad felt. He wanted his teams to do. He used to pull the players together. He said, "Look at it. I want you guys emotionally ready to play in a game, just like you would be in a fight. If somebody had called you up on the phone and said, 'I'm going to come over to your house and beat the living tar out of you,' are you going to turn the music on and get relaxed and feel really cool and everything?" He said, "No, you're going to get nervous. You're going to start twitching. You're going to be as focused as you could possibly be." And that's how he wanted his players when they went out on the court.
So, what did you learn from your dad's coaching style? And you coached with him for how many years?
7 years here at Fresno.
Okay. Were there any guys that you coached there that went on and made it big?
We had several of them that went on and did really well. Melvin Eli and Ray Fralston probably lasted the longest and had the best careers. Both of them were in the NBA for over 10 years each. Tremaine Folks was in the NBA for a number of years. Chris Herron for a short period of time. We had some really good players. We had some tough ones too, some tough players too that mixed in with them. But we had some very good players that brought some really good years here to Fresno.
Now, as we go back in your life, Danny, when did the involvement in politics start?
In high school and college. My mother's been very involved in public service most of her life, and I grew up during the time that George Deukmejian was a governor here in Nevada, and for a young Armenian kid, was a great honor and thrill to watch an Armenian run the state of California. I hope I said California. He was the governor of California. And between him and Ronald Reagan in the White House, it really got young guys like me excited to be a conservative Republican.
Mm-hmm. And the Republican Party, obviously not the Republican Party of even a year ago. I am so ecstatic over this revolution that happened in the ballot box. And the people that don't want to come along, why was it for so many years we elected Republicans? They campaigned for the basis of what we wanted in America. And then they go to D.C., and I don't know, is it the Potomac Kool-Aid? The nation never went more conservative. It was as if they were completely 100% ineffective. I'm glad to see a lot of them getting the boot.
You are expressing the sentiment that is permeated throughout the country on why they wanted somebody new, not only the Republican side, but even on the Democrat side. The cesspool of Washington, D.C. and what it's done to people that have gone back there, or at least the way people reacted when they got back there, has turned most people off from politics and has really lowered the esteem that we have for our public servants. I think that's one reason why you see Trump doing so well and you saw Bernie Sanders doing so well. Why do they do that? I don't know. Maybe they go back there and they enjoy it so much they don't want to lose again. They want to get along with everybody, and the power brokers back there that are either in the power position or the financially strong positions are putting the pressure on the legislators to do certain things that maybe they don't want to. I think that's what I bring to the table that very few other people running for office do. People that know me and know my family know that I stand up for what I believe in, as my father did, and I will fight and continue to fight. Hey, I've been knocked down quite a few times, politically and otherwise, and I keep dusting myself off and coming back stronger than ever, and I think that's what you need is somebody to go back to Washington, raise some hell back there.
I love the saying, what's a professional, an amateur that never quit?
Yeah.
Just keeps on moving. Danny Tarkanian is my guest, Republican congressional candidate in Nevada here. And, how's it going right now? How's the polls looking?
Well, we haven't done any polls in the general election yet, but the primary was the hardest part of my race. Now, that doesn't mean I can't lose the general, but I ran in a primary that was the significant underdog. I ran against a majority leader in the state Senate that had virtually every elected official supporting him and most of the Washington, D.C. money. But I think what you expressed just a second ago about how people are so upset about politicians who promise one thing and go back to either the State House or Washington, D.C. and do another, turn the voters off against that guy, and I was able to win. And it was a very satisfying win. I got outspent 4-1 and won by 8%. Now, in this election, it's a race that my district's gone Republican 6 out of the last 7 elections, although the district's almost evenly split. It's not going to be an easy race, but if I do my job, I should win, and I look forward to getting back there and getting some things done. You made a statement about the amateur and everything. One of the guys that I most admire in life is Coach Jim Sweeney, who was a football coach here at Fresno, and he had a saying, if you lost or you had some type of adversity, it's a temporary setback. That's all it is a temporary setback. As long as you don't quit and give up, you got a chance to succeed. And I've always kept that in mind when I've had some tough difficulties and tough temporary setbacks in politics.
Aren't coaches awesome?
They are.
I love coaches. Well, my high school baseball coach, we didn't like him. You know what he would do? He'd get mad if a grounder went through during infield practice. He'd get in his Dodson pickup, that tells you how long ago it was, and peel out and leave us all there standing on. But you know what? We stood there on the field and we realized we're not paying attention. All coaches have their different ways.
Good coaches are great motivators, and Jim Sweeney was one of the best. My father was one of the best. And you take those lessons with you all the way through your life. And when you're successful, you look at some of the great success stories of the Fresno football players here that are now making their lives here in the Central Valley or somewhere in California, and they'll all tell you stories about how Jim Sweeney, whatever he said and motivated them, it's carried over to their profession and helped them be successful.
Mm-hmm. Now, would you agree or disagree with this? And maybe you think I'm too much of a radical, but for decades, it seems like I got to vote in '84 for the first time. And it seems like from then until right now that the Democrats, we always hear, let's meet, let's work together. Republicans say, let's meet in the middle of the aisle, and we all got to give and take a little bit. But I cannot recall this nation them ever meeting in the aisle and going, well, we'll work with you guys a little bit on this. They've basically told us, get out of the way. We're going to fundamentally transform this nation, and it's going to get more liberal and liberal and liberal to the point where Pink Floyd's can go in and urinate in a bathroom next to my mom. You know, it's like the nation has just gone, in my opinion, downhill, and they've told us to get out of the way. They haven't worked with us. Why would we, when I hear Republicans going, well, we got to work together, we have to come and meet, I'm now of the part of telling them to get out of our way.
You are so right. I haven't heard you on the radio. I got to try to tap into your show sometimes, even when I'm in Vegas, because what you're saying is so true. It's always the Democrats saying you got to work across party lines. And then if the Republicans don't do everything the Democrats want, then they say, well, the Republicans are shutting down Congress. Well, isn't it Congress's responsibility to pass a budget? Well, they pass a budget, but Obama says he won't sign it, so therefore they're shutting down Congress. You know, it's ridiculous. And what happens is the media plays up to that. The Democrats give you their talking points how the Congress won't pass a bill. Congress are obstructionists. No, it's because Obama says if you don't do what I tell you to do, what I want you to do, I'm going to use my phone and my pen and get done myself, which is an absolute unconstitutional statement that he made right there. For a constitutional professor to say that he's going to completely abandon the checks and balances of the different branches of government, and say the executive branch is going to take over and do what the legislators are going to do if they don't do what I want. I mean, that to myself was the most outrageous statement I've heard from a president, and he doesn't carry any problems from it. It's always the Republicans in the face of problems when something goes wrong.
Well, we know Hillary and Obama with their Saul Alinsky rules for radicals that they have followed from the 1960s. It's time for Republicans to get a little radical, and that's what I've seen happen, and I think that this is a beautiful revolution. When I watch CNN after the RNC every night, they're like, well, this party's just not unified. And I'm like, well, during a revolution, you don't have unification. This really is a revolution. And the Bushes and the McCains and the Romneys and I throw Paul Backstreet Boy Ryan in there as well. Yeah, they all, it's like, I don't want them. Like, you're not part of this. You're the reason the revolution has happened. Not so much we've revolted against the Democrats. We've revolted against our own leadership and our own party for their ineffectiveness. And I don't think that they're just stupid. I don't think they're ineffective. I think it's intentional.
Well, I'm not going to say anything about Paul Ryan. I don't necessarily agree with that. I like Paul Ryan. But there are some real disappointments in the leadership of the Republican Party. Trump won the primaries, going away with more votes than ever has been casted for a nominee, and for the sitting governor of the state where the convention is being held to say, I'm not going to show up there because I don't like the fact I lost to this guy. Hey, my father always taught me you win with class and lose with dignity, and that's something very important you learn through life. Kasich lost. He should have been dignified and shown up to the convention, supported the nominee. Same with Cruz and Jeb Bush and everybody else. But I will tell you this: we were at the convention. My wife was a delegate. I was there. I thought the Republican convention was very unified. You saw very little bit of an outrage after the Rules Committee was done. The Democrat on the convention on the side, they had people that were heckling their nominee. They were some of them got out and walked out. There were riots outside. But you don't see that in the media. The media just makes it look like the Republicans are out of step and the Democrats are all unified. It's a complete opposite.
I'm telling you, we need a military coup of CNN. Danny Tarkanian, Republican congressional candidate in Nevada. Danny, if there's some people around here that heard your mission and would like to give you some of their pocket change. I know candidates are always raising. Give a website people can go to.
It's tarkforcongress.com. So TARKFOR Congress.com. You spell it out, tarkforcongress.com. Thank you very much.
Danny, thank you. Enjoy your time back in the Central Valley, and good to have you here. Good to meet you.
Thank you.
All right. Hey, we're going to come back. We're going to talk a little bit more about Big Daddy Khan. That's right, the Muslim up against Trump. That and much more coming up right here on Power Talk.
The Trevor Carey Show on Power Talk 96.7 and AM 1400.
Wow. Been a big day. Danny Tarkanian running for Congress in Nevada. Of course, the son of Coach Tarkanian. And hope he best wishes down there, man. We need as many conservatives who will tell the liberals, what? Get out of 5 words. Get out of our way. No more. Let's get together and work in the middle. We can work this out. I'll tell you what. We'll let Planned Parenthood come into the elementary schools, and we'll do that if you will allow us a manger scene. No, get out of our way. It's now even to the point. The story I did yesterday. They're going to start letting Satanists, the Church of Satan, into after-school stuff. No. Hey, Big Daddy Khan, the gold star dad that is Sharia compliant. Donald Trump was right. He said, maybe she wasn't allowed to talk. Well, he has no idea the trail he was going down was correct because Mr. Khan believes in Sharia, which means he can beat Mrs. Khan. I'll give you the details next. Trump was right.